Hey, what's up guys, this is XX here and I am going to be casting a 1 versus 1 between our red team player up here in the top right side, and his name is going to be TSL Curious. It is Korean here, but I know for a fact that it is TSL Curious. And his opponent for this game is going to be LiquidHuK, the blue Protoss spawning in the bottom left side. So this is going to be a game from the Korean server. And we're going to have a Protoss versus Terran, and I actually couldn't find anything about our Korean player here, Curious, but I know for a fact that he's a great player. He's on Team TSL, and that tells us a lot because TSL is currently ranked as the third best team in Korea, right behind OGS and Team IEM. So even though I don't know anything about him, he's still a great player with and he's on a Team TSL with a lot of other great players such as TSL Alive and TSL Clyde and a bunch more. And his opponent, LiquidHuK, also known as the Incredible HuK or HuK Norris, and a bunch of other nicknames, I suppose, is one of the strongest Protoss players out there, I think. Not as strong as OGSMC, I suppose, because he just won the GSL of March 2011, but he's still really strong and has played a lot of games. He is ranked 77th place on the Korean server, which is the most competitive server out there. He has 1274 wins and 1049 losses, so a really strong player, and he's known for being really great with his micro and getting nice unit composition, and always fun to watch actually. He's one of my favorite players. You gotta love HuK if you're a Protoss player. So he's going standard build. HuK's not usually a cheese player, so we can see he's getting out his gateway, followed up with an assimilator and then a cybernetic core, and immediately as that SCV left his base, he put up his second assimilator, which indicates that he's probably going to go some high-tech build which requires a lot of gas. But we can see here that our Korean player Curious is actually getting a reactor barracks right off the bat, so he's probably going to put on some pressure with his marines. He's actually continuing to mine gas from this refinery. You could mine 50 gas and then you stop when you have the reactor, but he's going to continue, so he's probably going to put down a factory in any minute or switch it up to a barracks with marauders. But no, he's actually going to build a command center here, so possibly going to contain and push HuK a little bit with his marines here, and then going to secure his early expansion, which isn't that uncommon on the Korean server anymore, because Koreans are so innovative when they play, and they come up with new interesting and cool builds all the time. So fast expand is always a high possibility, even if you're not Zerg. And I'm curious if HuK even scouted this. He will, I suppose he scouted this now when he traveled up that ramp. Yes, he did, with the stalker, so he knows what's going on, and either has to put on some pressure here, which he most surely is going to do with a 4-gate, but I was going to say that he has to put on some pressure or expand himself if you don't want to fall too far behind, because remember, the Terran builds this command center in his base, and it's probably going to upgrade it to a orbital command and then fly it over here and then start to mine. So HuK would have had time to set up his own expansion, but he's going to be aggressive with a 4-gate. So his gateways are just now finishing, with one gateway more to warp in, and he has to be careful not to be supply blocked putting up an additional pylon right now, but his warp kit technology just finished, so he's probably going to be aggressive soon. As you can see, he's moving out with a bunch of stalkers and a sentry against a few marines. No, a bunch of marines. These stalkers are actually in a lot of trouble here, as marines are fairly good against stalkers actually. We have a sneaky probe up here, possibly going to set up a prox pylon at any second here, I think. I would assume that anyways, because that is how you do a 4-gate. Let's see what this probe's up to. I'm actually not sure. Maybe it's just scouting around, but I don't see the purpose of that. So, but anyway, HuK is going to just peek up here, test the waters a bit, but Curious actually has a bunker set up here real nicely, so going to and look, two SCVs just repairing each other, and meanwhile when HuK is going and to be aggressive here, a nice force field is going to block those SCVs from repairing this bunker, so this bunker will go down, which will leave this Marines vulnerable, but 4 more Marauders is coming to and just blast away through these Stalkers, because Marauders is so good against Stalkers. But look at this, HuK is setting up his own expansion while being aggressive, so TSL don't have the advantage of this expansion as for now, more than he can produce double workers and get the energy for the mules and such, but he hasn't mined a single mineral, so he's just built this, spent 550 minerals in total, and he can't mine from it, so HuK is not too far behind actually if he can get his base up and running. But Curious doing a great job pushing out HuK and seeing his proxy pylon, which he most surely know was there because HuK could reinforce his push earlier, and now he's going to upgrade both Stimpack and the combat shields for the Marines, so that is always great as turn if you have a nice big bio ball, but it's not going to lift off this orbital command just yet. He's going to continue to produce SCVs and keeping a bunch of SCVs in his with his army here to tank some damage and mess with the AI of HuK here, but HuK is such a strong player. I think he will focus fire down the Marines and Marauders if he noticed that his units are targeting the SVs, but he has now got his expansion up and running. That is exactly what he wanted to do with this push. He saw that Curious had his expansion up and running, but he didn't let Curious let it lift off at any time, so he can just get his own base up and running. But this is dangerous because the two players switch position and HuK is off position, so this could possibly get picked off right now. You can see HuK is also blocking the backdoor with 2 pylons, which most players do, but he has to run his probes away and even killing a Marauder that with a probe, so really cost effective probe there. But this huge ball is just going to march up here, but thankfully for HuK he has 1 more pylon here to power these gateways and 1 more pylon to power these gateways, but no, those gateways are unpowered, so all these probes are just so vulnerable to all these Marines and Marauders. But now the stun has finished, so these Marauders and Marauders will easily be picked off by all those gateway units from HuK. And look at this, Curious didn't even lift off his own expansion while doing that, and he's soon will be mined out in his base, so I don't know what that is all about. Meanwhile HuK just playing it safe, getting nice economy going, but he hasn't grabbed that 3rd and 4th gas, just now grabbing his 3rd gas, so he can produce more efficiently from his gateways, getting more sentries, which you have to use against the Terran Bioball with the force fields and the Guardian Shield, because otherwise they will just blast away through the Protoss army. But you can see a drop is coming in here, and he has to cancel these pylons. Is doing it one by one to see if the Marines just not shooting that, but evacuating all these probes. I'm going to put on a bunch of pylons not to be supply blocked, and this drop is coming to an end here. I think just 1 Marauder and 2 Marines going to scoot up in this medevac and escape out of there, and I don't think HuK can reach him just yet. Yes, he can actually. So our turn player Curious to find a sweet spot there to put his medevac, and meanwhile we can see a more Marines and Marauders are reinforcing this, so HuK know that they are on the way because of his proxy pylon got taken down there, so he's going to be on his toes and be real focused. And we can see he has a 5th gateway and also a robotics facility. A robotics facility is always great to have against Terran with those Colossus you can get, and finally get him picked off that